Hey, peeps, you have entered the Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast, where I have intentional conversations that raises your awareness, which releases your innate abilities and leads you to purposeful action. You know there's more to life and you're worthy of it, and yet you feel stuck. This is your sign. Unstuck yourself with me, Crystal Simmons, certified coach, corporate facilitator, and dope human being. I'll be here every week. Will you? Hey peeps, welcome back to another episode of Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast. So excited to have you all here. So delighted to have you listening. So thankful that you continue to share each and every of your favorite episode. Please continue to do so as we grow, as we continue to increase awareness for yourself, but also the people that you find dope, so that we can continue to just be expansive, abundant, and doper and doper and doper. Hence, while we have our next guest, when I tell you our conversation, energy flowing left to right, you will want to run this back 2, 3, 18 times. Because as you know, as you continue to grow, certain things hit you differently. You're more aware, and then you can actually receive some of the words that are being shared, the stories that are being told. So let me introduce you to our next guest. Godis Cheeky is a medium, an intuitive clairvoyant, spiritual advisor. She's a master Reiki practitioner, a master tarot reader, certified spiritual life coach, and self-proclaimed unicorn born in Petersburg, Virginia. That was a lot, right? She's so much more. She has studied a wide range of spiritual medicines, divination methods, and energy healing practices such as crystal work, chakra alignment, and reading and cleansing, applied law of attraction, various personality mapping processes, pendulum working, astrology, and natal charting, and so much more. I told you it was a lot. Her spiritual gifts were discovered at a very young age, and they were kept hidden due to the fear of judgment. That shit is real. Despite those fears, Godis Cheeky has been sharing her gifts professionally since 2020 through the Godis Collective. And the Godis Collective provides spiritual services focused on the afro indigenous communities to help educate and liberate through spiritual connection, energy realignment, and mindset mastery. We're not gonna wait any longer. Please enjoy this magical, this chill-raising conversation with myself and the dope Godis Cheeky. Hey peeps, thanks for coming back to Unstuck Yourself with Crystal Simmons podcast, highlighting my personal stuck moments and creating a safe space for others to share their voices and stories as well. And today we get to chat with the dopest, the most energetic, the most smiling Godis Cheeky. And before we dive into all the dopeness that you're creating and building, please let the peeps know who little Cheeky was that paved the way for the current Cheeky that sits before me today.
Oh man, little Cheeky was and is, because she's still very much real and is with me on a daily basis, but she was and is mischievous and an explorer, right? Always in everything, super energetic, a feeler, picking up on anyone's energy quickly, always wanting to problem solve. I just knew that I was going to be the additional cast member on Captain Planet. Like, I just knew it in my bones, okay? They needed me. But she was a joy, you know. She was love and innocence in the most pure setting. She's dope as shit.
Yes. Hey, little Cheeky, I heard you shouting out. And when you say you will be the additional member, what I started thinking was like, earth, water, fire. I don't know all the things.
I have forgotten most of them, but I wanted to be glitter. whole time. I just knew I was going to be the glitter one. Just
That
sprinkling
is
confetti
so,
all over the place, making people
oh,
smile.
that's so, I love that. Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've ever told anybody that.
Exclusive. Have Michael throw all the effects right now. Michael's my editor. That is the best answer I have ever felt. Like, because I saw it, I was like, yeah, everybody needs
Just heart
glitter.
sprinkles everywhere. Super Saiyan, but with glitter. That's pretty much it.
Oh my heart spring. I can't. All right, y'all. This is going to be very fun. I am so excited to geek out with you regarding energy.
Mhm.
And when you say you were able to pick up on others, like what age do you recall like your first most impactful experience of doing that?
Hmm. Now, I have not known a time where I couldn't feel someone's feelings. I'll be honest with you. When I was going in, when everybody goes in to take the testing, the interview to go to school, right?
I do
I
not
was
remember that, but yeah.
okay. I was so like in tune with this lady. By the end of the time, I was sitting on her lap and she told me that I could call her grandma. And I was telling her that, everything's okay. And this is going to be the best year for you. And so basically the lady was like, she don't need to come to school. She need to be doing something else.
Wow.
But I've always been able to pick up, sometimes good and sometimes bad. I
Yeah.
was the kid who had so much energy, like nervous energy, because I could feel everyone else's to the point where I was like, ate with stomach ulcers from the energy that are
Wow.
like sitting in me. And anytime anybody was arguing or things were off, it would just impact me so deeply to the point where my mom, she had to try to figure out a way to have, everything's okay conversations with me, but in a real tone, because she knew that I knew when something was wrong. Sure.
Wow. What was that encounter with your mom? Like, what would she do?
So my mom, who is also superhuman, my mom has a lot of the same gifting abilities that I do. She was a protector. So she knows how to calm my emotions better than anyone under the sun, because she understands that a lot of my emotions aren't mine. And so she would ask me a lot, are you sure that this is what you're feeling? Are you sure that this is what you're feeling? And she would make me, well, what makes you feel like that? And so if I couldn't tell her, she would say, if you don't know, it doesn't belong to you. And I remember that from a very, very early age in adolescence, because my mom she's one of those super brainy people. So she's really smart.
Yes.
But she never talked to us like we were, she babied us, but she didn't talk to us like we were babies. She
Yes.
talked
I
to
know
us like we
exactly
were
what you
people.
mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are. We
Right.
are. We were. We're still like, yeah, I understand that. Jeez. All right, y'all. I'm gonna try to get through this. I'm feeling so much stuff. I currently work at a coaching facility that focuses on core energy. And yesterday we had like a connection Zoom call because we're all remote. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are from California, Atlanta, I'm in Virginia. And we just had a connection call and I get to geek out with them talking about energy, intuition, and never have I ever thought I will work somewhere and have that ability to do that at my workplace. Like they encourage that shit. But then to hear you speak about this reminded me of my conversation with them yesterday, where they were talking about one of the women said she went to an empowering group for some type of session. She was like, it was not empowering. And I was like, what did that mean? She was like, there were the lady, she was up there yelling, like, we gotta fight. We gotta see, look at Cheeky. Y'all can't see Cheeky's face, but her brows furrowed, her head went back, like, what? Y'all know the move. And that's what I was like, that's empowering. And as they were talking, I'm thinking about myself because I have been amongst a couple of people where I'm like, something's off. So I'm asking, but they're not sharing. And then my coworkers, my homies, they're like, Crystal, they might not be ready to share. They might not even be aware. And I was like, they was like, that's your intuition. That's your intuitive hit. And I was like, I didn't connect the pieces of that was an intuition moment or intuitive hit. I was just like, something's off. Come on, guys, let's figure this out. Like,
It's so neat because I mean, sometimes, people are so disconnected from themselves that they don't even realize their own energy, and you can pick up on them before they pick up on themselves. A lot of people operate in an energetic projection most of the time anyway.
yes.
And so you have to get through the first couple of layers to really feel, unless you just got your intuitive probe on, but to really feel what's going on with that person, because most people live in like with a little bit of a baby shield up,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
bounce back.
That deep breath was a moment for me to like absorb that. And I'm pretty sure people who are listening feel that as well, where you mentioned sometimes you can feel other people's energy and they're not aware of it. And it'll take a couple, I don't know how you said it, layers or tries or something. What do I do in that instance of, oh, I feel something?
And so one of the main things I try to do is if I can feel something is there, first you have to assess kind of where you are in the moment, because it may not always be an appropriate situation for them to open. One of the things
Yeah.
with my special set of gifts, like I'm taking my special set
Hold
of gifts.
on. You not going to do those air quotes.
Oh, well, they
You
are.
gonna say
Okay.
they're, yes.
They are my special set of gifts. But one of the hardest parts about being energetically gifted is understanding boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point of your homies, everybody's not always in a position where they want to open up and share. But if I can feel it and it's nagging at me, I will ask and phrase my questions a little bit differently, just to remind people that they're in a space where I'm ready to receive that. Depending on body language, because I study that as well, you can always tell if somebody is getting more open with you, becoming more comfortable. And that's when you can kind of hone in a little bit more on, I know something wrong with your ass, so you won't tell me.
Yes.
But I mean, sometimes I'm in the grocery store, like I'm in Walmart and I'm just looking at rice and somebody walks to the cart behind me and I'm like, oh my God, they need a hug so bad. And I'm trying to figure out
Oh,
how can I do something that's comforting without breaking a boundary, because they don't know.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
truthfully, I don't know them and I don't want
Yeah.
their energy attached to me either. But and so I'll do something in a way to where I have to make eye contact and they have to make eye contact with me. And I will smile
Wow.
on purpose, or I will say something that's comforting or give them a compliment just to break whatever energy I can feel that's just falling out of their pores, because, oh, baby, people be heartbroken out here. Whew. And so I just want to, you can't hug the world, I guess, but you can try to send everybody as much love as you can. So anyone can do that. That's not just
Yeah.
me. Anyone can do that. We all have that superpower as humans. We're all the same energy. And so if you slow down enough, you can feel the energy of the person next to you if you're paying attention.
And what is the return you get for doing that? What do you feel after giving that person a
Um,
smile?
it depends. There have been times where, because what I do is I absorb a lot, and I'm not going to ever recommend this to anybody else, but I absorb because I know that I can transmute. And so I
Mm.
will take what I can and I will hold what I can for people, so that they have somewhere to drop it off, and then I will release it for them. And so I always benefit off of releasing anything, whether it belongs to me or not, because that keeps my heart chakra in good condition. That keeps me in a space of abundant receiving, is because I'm releasing, right? And so it does a couple of things. One, it reminds me of my soul purpose, and I know that I'm serving the creator in the best way. Two, it makes me feel good to know that even for a split second, I was able to carry something that was too heavy for somebody else.
Mm.
It's a couple of things. I think it's a win-win-win. I win, they win, and then, source and the collective wins, because everybody's on a better energetic plane than they were before.
You're so powerful.
Girl,
Because,
I'm regular.
but you can be powerful and regular. You can be both. That's people who are listening. That's that dialectic thinking where you can be both. We are multidimensional. And what I heard you say a few times before, without saying it, you're very intentional.
Mhm.
Where I have done something and not how do I word this? I don't know which Claire it is. However, I can see,
Mhm.
I want to say actions or see words, if that makes sense. So if I'm viewing someone out, case in point,
Mhm.
you looking at someone, feeling their energy,
Mhm.
and then saying they need a hug.
Mhm.
My interaction is just, it's almost like the movies playing in my head of what
Mhm.
I'm looking at
Mhm.
and what might um needs to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you have gifted vision where you can see multiple outcomes.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's an energetic connection. And some people have gifted vision where they can see multiple outcomes solely when it relates to interactions with other people. Some people
Yes.
can just see stuff and they're like, what is this? I don't even know what it is. Right. And then when the moment comes, they're like, oh, this is like deja vu because I've been here before. But
Yes,
really, it
I've
was
done
just something
that.
that they
Yep.
had a prophetic thought about. So yes, that is an
Wow.
actual ability to be able to do that. Spirit speaks through people in different ways. And sometimes those of us who have good um, connection with our imagery in our brain, right? Sometimes we get to see things play out in different ways, and we can pick which option we want to do. It's a neat thing.
I told my husband a while ago, like I noticed that collaboration, authenticity are really high values for me, and I never put words to it. And most recently, it's been acknowledgement of and clarity for real. Like what you just said, like I know I'm going through things, but I don't know how to categorize it or to acknowledge what it is. It's like it's kind of there. I don't
Mhm.
know what to do with it. So you saying that because I would say I'm a problem preventer because I see this is gonna go bad or it's not going to be productive or this is
Mhm.
kind of chaotic. Let's get organized. Let's actually
Mhm.
try to do this. Let's ask someone else, bring in that collaboration piece instead of us working in a silo by ourselves. I'm thinking like I'm a problem preventer. No, I
Mhm.
like what you said. Like that resonates with me. And
So you are
mm,
what I would classify, I have a multiple range of clients that I work with, and some of them we do different types of energy work where they're really just cultivating their own abilities and applying them in real time. And I call those my super seers because they're able to see solutions ahead of time because they can see different outcomes, either whether they dream them, whether they get them post meditation, whether they're just in the moment and you think they may be zoning out, but what they're really doing is playing each scenario with spirit,
mm,
right? So asking for insight on which way to go. And then spirit's giving you the vision in real time. And so a lot of people can do that. A lot of people don't even know they're doing that. But
yeah,
that is a special gift and ability. So all praise be to the Most High for you having that, because that's a beautiful
thank
thing.
you. And because you mentioned it, this is a perfect segue because I want to know, I want to see it. When working with your clients, what does that look like?
Oh, wow. So all client experiences are different, right? I tend to follow the same formula where I assess my clients' needs. And so we talk about, what their specific goal set is, what they're looking to do. Is it healing? Is it expanding? Is it learning and education? And then depending on that, that's kind of where we go, right? And so I have some clients who really just, I'm a lighthouse, I'm an anchor through their spiritual breakthrough so that they can get to the other side of that and really develop their own spiritual mindset mastery is what I really like to call it, where they're super in tune, not just with spirit, but with self and the collective
Yeah,
experience, right? And so being able to heal and also expand their own experience and community is really big for me. And then I have other clients who are, it's just situational. It's just,
mm,
I have some shadow work that I need to do and I don't want to do it alone. I want to make sure that I have a guide for that. Or, I need to reconnect back to self and to center and reconnect to my own divine. I want to do that. Or, I'm really trying to work better with my ancestral, lineage and sort of ancestral
mm,
veneration. And I specialize in that as well. And then I have people who are just want to build their skill set, build their abilities and strengthen their intuitive abilities. And we work with that. And so it really just depends on my client's need. What I tell people is being an energy practitioner, whoever spirit sends to me that I'm supposed to serve, I will do that. And if I don't have the capacity or the knowledge base that they need to do what they do, I make a hell of referrals. I'm a therapy bae. I have all other spiritual coach baes out here that specialize in certain work. And so I will help them build a holistic care team that hopefully I can be a part of. But if I can't, even passing them off to people that I know that will hold them in high regard, like I will, is me leaving my special thumbprint on their journey anyway. And so, so each client experience is a little bit different. Some clients work with me for shorter periods, 6 months. I have other clients who have been with me for the entire time that I've been doing this professionally. So for about 2.5 years, but we're going through different stages of journeys. And they become an intricate part of my soul family. It's hard not to get attached to some of them when you're working with them for so long and watching them succeed at so many things. But yeah, each client journey is different, but I service them all in whatever way spirit guides me to serve them, through Reiki, through meditation work, through crystal energy work, through candle working if we need to do some of that. Intense meditation and prayer and altar work is like a big thing with me. So if you don't know how to pray in the beginning, you gonna know at the end. But yeah, tons of different things. It's whatever modalities they need. If I can't figure it out, I will outsource it so they make sure that they have everything they need.
I have to snap it up to you to have people continue with you on that journey for 2.5 years as a business owner. That is a major accomplishment, and it shows and it demonstrates your ability, because starting out with someone from the beginning, obviously we're human, we're all figuring this out. Mm-hmm. But for them to like trust themselves with you in that process and you to trust you, that collaboration, that partnership, that's beautiful. So kudos to you. That's dope.
Thanks, God.
You mentioned a lot. So I'm going to ask, what is your most enjoyable
Okay, so okay. I have two. So I try not to. Oh, I have more than two. I bring it in a little cheeky. Okay, so my favorite thing for me to do in this work for myself is Reiki. I cannot even explain in words, I think, that will articulate it enough to get to the quintessence of what I feel when I am at the foot of the Reiki table and I can feel spirit moving, not just me, just spirit moving. When I can feel in real time burdens being dropped, when I can feel it and I can see it in the way the person is breathing, that they are releasing, when I can feel it and I pick it up and I throw it away for them. Spirit is speaking through me into them and they're receiving in that moment. For me, that is like, can't nobody tell me that God ain't in the room. Can't no one tell me that God is not in the room when that's happening. And so that lets me know in real time that I'm serving the purpose that I'm supposed to be serving. Now, the best thing for me to see reaction-wise is tarot, because when I tell you I'll rip somebody's whole scalp off with the tarot cards, spirit just choose violence with me every time. I'll be going straight for the jugular. I tell people, don't sit down if you don't want me to know your business, because spirit is going to snitch. And so for me, that's the most hilarious interactions, because you can really help someone get the insight that they need in a very short period of time. It does require that person then to pick it up and do their own work. And so I like that because it takes a little bit of the load off of me for the long run, right? But that part is super fun. And then my third one, because I know you asked one, but I be talking. My third one is crystal working. So I tumble and I tumble in my gut. So I take crystals from their raw state and like a slab, and I break them down. And it reminds me of my stuff in a past life. I ain't gonna lie, because I'm purchasing it by the weight, by the kilo, okay? And we're breaking it down. You get the slab, you get to put it in the vice grip, or you can lay it down depending on how hard it is. And my dad has a workshop in his backyard, and I just be going to town. Like I have like my little safety goggles on it every day, little muffs.
I want to see what it looks like.
Okay, because child, you can. And we just go in there and go to town. And it's a twofold thing. I'm quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
And so most of the time, my dad has the music on. And if I'm not singing, if he's not in there singing, I'm praying into it. You know, I'm listening. I'm intuitively feeling, you know, and that time to me is like real intimate moments with source, you know. And so not just the crystal energy being so powerful in its raw state, you know, I'm talking about washing it in creek water, like, you know, really doing it and putting it back in the earth, letting it sunbathe for a minute before I work into it, you know, being thankful, lighting candles to the ancestors, just bringing it to me, you know, that part of what I do for me is like so enriching because it's so connecting for me. My dad calls me cat. He calls me cat bird because he says when I was a kid, they didn't know which way I was coming or going. It's like two animals that ain't supposed to be together. But I have never worn shoes. I can't stand it when I'm outside. And so that allows me to be outside in the earth, of the earth, with the earth, just connected. And that to me is like, I could do that forever. Like if I could do that forever. Seeing the crystals transform, learning patience because it takes a while. You gotta wait on it, you know.
What's a while?
Some crystal tumble cycles take up to 12 weeks. You know, start and you gotta just hope and pray that you didn't screw it up. And I have screwed up a lot of pounds of crystals before. So
how do you screw it up?
Oh, you can over tumble.
Okay.
The first mistake I made was I tumbled crystals together that had completely different hardness abilities. And so the quartz ruined the other crystal, you know, and you can't undo that. It's like, oh, okay, well, now I just have chips. And that's how I started making pens. People don't know that. That was a failure because I picked up so many crystals that all I had was the little remnants of them. And I'm like, well, you know, I got native in my bloodline. We don't throw nothing away. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do with this? We got to do something with this. And I'm like, well, I like pens. So I'm just going to put them in pens. And now they're scripting pens. But so, yeah, so it teaches you patience. It teaches you how to fail humbly because you will. And that's hard.
And we're supposed to, like, we really are. Like, I'm learning more and more. One, words can be trash. They don't really encompass the entire experience sometimes. And failure, it's more just like a different outcome that you were expecting. Like, you still can learn from it. You can still be productive from it. You can still expand from it. Like I told somebody the other day, you probably know about Post-its, how they came about. So people, if y'all have not heard, the inventor, creator, accidental creator, I guess I should say, was tasked to find or create some really strong adhesive. And it was really weak. And it happened to be on a piece of paper. And that's how Post-it came about. And I was like, that makes more sense than someone being like, hey, I would like to stick a piece of paper on my wall. I have to take the paint off. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to be intentional. You don't have to like try to get it right, especially if you know there is no wrong. We're just doing shit. We're just trying to figure life out.
Yeah, I love that. I'm receiving that. You're just doing shit.
We really are. Like, even if we go back to like, you're supposed to go to school and then get a job, we're literally just doing shit. How many times have we worked with people who have been our supervisors, directors, even CEOs? And you're like, I don't know if you know what you're doing.
I haven't looked at a lot of people because my past life, I worked in HR and I did executive placement and team building. And that's another reason why I'm good at what I'm doing in here, right? With the energy is because I'm corporate trained on a lot of things on the backside.
Okay. Oh, yes.
And so sometimes you just look at people and you read their resume and then you meet them and you just be like, how?
That part.
But okay, but how? But all right.
Exactly. Okay, but how? And then once you release that feeling of it's supposed to be this way, I'm supposed to take these steps. And you just start doing stuff, allow yourself to just do it. How do I feel? Is it draining? Am I only doing it because somebody told me I need to be doing it? Stuff like that. So
that one. Ooh,
that F me up.
Yeah, that's a trap right there. Karma's a trap.
Ooh.
I will reroute your whole timeline. I tell people all the time, you have to remember, whose life are you living? Okay, that's a question I ask a lot. Whose life are you living, baby? Because you're not even excited about your wins. That means you didn't want them.
Ooh.
You know, you got to watch it. I look at people all the time, they're winning and they're not stopping to celebrate. You live in somebody else's life.
Wow.
Good life, a great one, but it don't belong to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a minute to sit with that. And it's okay. It really is. Now that you know, we got Cheeky here that's offering so many dope ass avenues to just figure it out, feel,
Mm-hmm.
to experience it out. Like, I'd be watching you post about your Tarot Tuesday. It should be cracking me up. It cracked me up. Like, could you always stop? What do you say? Stop asking me about if your significant other's cheating on you.
Yeah, because he is. Don't ask me. And I don't want to ruin no happy home. If you like living in a house of bullshit, I don't want to disrupt that for you. You want to know so you can be mad and then talk to him about it. I'm not talking. No, we're not doing that. You know he doing it. He been doing it. You won't go to counseling. I don't know what else to tell you. That's why I don't do love and relationship reads right there. Because people be asking about the wrong shit. I'm like, this is not what do you want me to tell you? The man got, or the woman, because it's the fuckery is a equal opportunity
Absolutely.
situation.
Anybody can get it.
He's
Yes.
just out here worrying about the wrong things. People be so concerned about what everybody else is doing, and they're missing an opportunity to build on themselves. And so that is why I don't do couple stuff most of the time, because the 1 and 1 is supposed to make 3, okay? But people can't get to 3 because they're not a full 1. And so they just got to work on that part. They just got to work on that. But, we're going to get them through it. We're going to get them through it.
We're going to rewind that. Y'all didn't hear. She said 1 and 1 is motherfucking 3.
Mm-hmm. The whole point of us being together so we can expand.
Jeez. I tell you. I was talking to my husband because you said something earlier about you can't tell me God's not real when you at the foot of their reiki table. Experiencing the partnership with my clients feel the same. Like, I had a coaching call this past Monday and I was feeling kind of blah. I think it was really rainy and gray and whatever. And I have some chaos that I know is not mine, and I haven't spoken up about it in the way that I know I can. Let me get that straight. I have kind of mentioned it. And when I was going through the coaching session with my client, she was bringing up the same shit. And I was like, I see you guys. I see you, homie. I call my spirits homies.
Of course.
I'm like, I feel you. And I told her and I had like a bonding, like, I was like, I'm not going to cry because this is your coaching session. But I thank you for opening up, because she was very vulnerable and open. And that's all I want. I don't want to judge people. I don't want to put people in boxes and think one way what they should or shouldn't do. I want people to be comfortable around me. And I also know I can't force it. I can't make them. So it does sadden me when it occurs, when I'm like, I just want to get to know you. And that is little Crystal coming out, always just wanting to get to know people. And you mentioned your little self, where I didn't have that. My mom wasn't aware of that. And it's not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. But me just not knowing what to do with the information, I would ask random questions that would just come to me out of curiosity. And some people took it as judgment. And I'm like, shit, that's not what I meant. Like, damn it. Like, so there is some baggage of not wanting to hurt people, not wanting to offend them, not wanting to force them to feel something they don't want to feel. And also me honoring myself and what I feel and not silencing myself.
Right. What I would encourage and empower you to do is to respect your process And so a lot of times what we do is that we will put a negative undertone to our process if we feel like it's not getting the appropriate
Yes.
result. And so what I always try to remind myself is that I'm only going to succeed as me. And if I try to, you know, talk a different way or change my approach with certain things, then the people that who need to hear me, they won't. You know, everybody is not my client, and I know that, right? And I know
Yeah.
you understand that too, being in the world you're in as well. But who I am for, I'm for in a major way. And so authenticity for me is super important. Growing up energetically gifted was hard because my mom had a very negative experience when she was found out to be energetically gifted, and she tried to protect me from that at all costs. My mom still does not like when I use words like magic. She doesn't like words like witch or candle work or any of that. She didn't like any of those kind of words associated with me or my business, because growing up, what I heard was one of the worst things somebody can call you was a witch, you know? And so I hid a lot of my abilities. I suppressed a lot of things, my knowing, my, spirit talking to me, all of that. I hid it from a lot of people that I loved, because I just didn't want people to look at me differently or think that I was trying to do hoodoo on them or all those things, because that's what us Black folks say. We're afraid somebody working roots on us every 15 minutes, and they ain't.
Yes.
It's just your bad energy, but I'll get to that later. But, so I tried not to show that. And then coming back to the trust piece, because when I left my corporate job, I knew that I was supposed to be doing something greater. And I said, well, Spirit, if you trust me, I trust you. And I know that in order for me to fulfill what's already called on my life, and I will say the same thing to you, is that you just have to be who you are, because there are people that are waiting on you to talk to them. And so, we work through our processes, right? We don't ever want to rub our clients the wrong way. And I think sometimes as practitioners, we forget that it's okay for us to be human.
Yeah.
It's okay for us to feel. I struggle a lot with my own vulnerability, because I'm afraid that if people know, that my life is in shambles one minute, that I won't be able to effectively lead them. But my clients, that's why they trust me.
Yeah.
It's because they know that I've been through a shitstorm. And I've had the ability to be strong enough and be faithful enough to spirit and to myself to get myself out of it. And so, let people see your harder edges. Your harder edges are not negative. They make you who you are, and who you are is beautiful, all of you. And so just remember that.
I received that, and I'm feeling mostly teary. And I know that's not an emotion, but that is the realest shit. Like, I know that part is dope, and I also am like, does it have to be so hard? But I know when I hit, it hits. Like, and like you said, my client, her and I had an agreement that I can call her out, because I know what I'm capable of. And she was like, no, I need that. So people are telling me, um, it's accepting not everyone wants that.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. And then me figuring out a way to still hold space, because normally what I would do is just run away. Right. Then you're not for me. Put you off, we done. But I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
I'm capable of being more than one way. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You have to give them a second. Sometimes when you're giving them to them a little bit harder, a lot of people aren't used to receiving that, because we live in a world of smoke and mirrors. We live in a world of it's if it doesn't make me feel good, then I ain't gotta fuck with it. A lot of people don't want to deal with dark. They think dark is bad, but dark is where the growth happens. And if your edges are sharp, it's because some people are supposed to be disruptive. One of the things I tell people all the time is that, baby, sometimes peace is loud. Okay. Yes. Peace isn't always silent. Peace isn't always soft. Sometimes peace is aggressive. And if I say something to you, if I push you, it's because I'm strong enough to catch you. And so it's just that piece. My clients know I will read them for filth. I mean, you will not get on my Zoom and think you're going to bullshit me, because first of all, I'm a human lie detector. I can tell. And you're not going to play with me or spirit. Yes. So I'm going to call you out. But because I call you out, it's not because I want to tear you down. It's because I respect you. I
And to build you
value
up.
you.
I'm here to build you
Yeah,
up.
I'm
Like,
not going to feed you no bullshit because I
mm,
respect you. You're better than that. And I'm not going to speak to the lower version of you.
mm, damn, hold on, write that down. I've been taking notes, y'all. And Cheeky and I were talking before we hit record about TV shows that we watch, and I put her on the Peacock show of Poker Face. Can you mention you're a human lie detector? So Natasha, the lead, she's a human lie detector. So you got to
Okay,
watch
I'm
it.
sold. I'm sold.
As
I'm
soon as
sold.
you said it, I was like, oh, we circled back around. So
I'm sold.
and I appreciate, and I'm so grateful and thankful that we get to have this moment, because again, I just kind of been floating. I just been like, oh, this is fun, curious. Okay, cool. Now I want to like harness it and like be intentional and like strategic and like, pew, 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 you know what I mean? Um, and that's what I'm getting from you, where you already know what's up and you
Mhm.
use it accordingly.
Mhm.
So I'm happy because we also talked about Reiki, because I've done it once, probably like 2.5 years ago. And what did you say to me?
Girl, get on this table. And you is and you will. It's pink, it's cute, nah, it's comfortable, it's on a
No, I'm
great
ready.
piece of land.
So
I'm in.
walk me through.
Okay, so first and foremost, what I will say is the space that I'm in to do Reiki is amazing. I'm in the St. Luke Legacy Center, but it is also Maggie Walker's building. And so her office was here, and spirit is very much still real in her building. And when you walk in the building, not even just my office, but when you walk in the space, you can feel the energy shift. You can feel it. Spirit is very much real here. My clients come in, we meet, we talk for a second, I assess them, I read their aura and energy while they're sitting in my room. I tap in with spirit and spirit guides. And so once they set an intention, because it is about the client over their session, and we talk through what they feel their blocks are and the intention, I give them a little brief explanation of what I'm going to be doing, crystals that I'm going to be pulling to place on the body, different frequencies, because I use tuning forks in my Reiki, so they'll hear them. I typically play a tuning fork for them so they understand what it sounds like, so they don't jolt while they're in the
Yeah.
experience. They get on the table. I cover them up with a sheet. I place the crystals, and then I smudge and I pray over them. I set a tone for the session. I welcome spirit into the space. I pray over their desires, and then I get to work. And that's typically
And smudging is burning the sage, right?
yes, I use
Okay.
sage, incense, different blends.
Okay.
Sometimes I use resin. It's just really whatever spirit dictates for the session.
I like
Um,
resin.
Resin is cool. It really is. It took me a long time to understand it. That's really because I just thought that I just knew it in my brain and I didn't read any instructions. That's another
Mm.
Capricorn thing. But so yeah, I went through a lot of wasted some stuff because of that. But anyway, I'm a pro now.
Nice.
So I use different ways to smudge and or cleanse the body while I'm doing that, and then I just work through the session, cleansing chakras and moving energy, and then some special techniques. I'm a Reiki master. My Reiki connection story is crazy.
Ooh.
So I've only had Reiki performed on me one time before this journey.
I love it.
This was like at the beginning of my own spiritual journey. I'm talking years ago, maybe probably almost 10 years now. And
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it now.
Where
Again,
were you at in this moment of your life?
I was so full of pain. And because I have historically been someone who has been called too sensitive, um, emotional, all of those things, because again, I'm harnessing everyone else's feelings in real time because I've historically been an absorber where I absorb it for people who couldn't hold it and then I give it away. Now, before I realized I was doing that, I was just absorbing and then poisoning myself
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how to put it down. And going through life being called emotional, and one day I was like, I don't want to be that anymore.
Yeah.
I want to get all of this off me. And so I'm looking into different ways, healing ways. I'm studying things. I know that I'm gifted. So I'm trying to figure stuff out. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere where they can talk to me about my chakras. Because I don't know, it's shaker. You know, I don't get my chakras cleansed.
Love it.
I get my chakras done. So I find on Groupon, okay,
Ah,
this is back when Groupon was popping.
popping,
Okay, I'm on
popping.
Groupon. I'm looking through, I see Key to Wellness. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go because she Black. So, like,
That part.
so I go in there, not believing, completely like this is gonna be trash. I'm waste, but I, ain't nothing but $19.95. I waste my little money, but I'm in there. So she comes out. Now, mind you, she comes out, and all of a sudden, I feel like I'm gonna break down and cry. As soon as she looked at me, I was like, shit, I gotta get out of here. So now I put a wall up because I ain't crying no punk. I ain't crying in front of nobody.
Mhm.
So I get in there and she's like, you're going to make me work. I was like, okay, whatever.
Wow.
So she talks me through the process. She lays me back on the table. I mean, I don't know how much time passes because I swear you go into another dimension when you're on the regular table. But I didn't even realize how hard I was crying until I felt how wet my face was. And afterwards, I couldn't even get myself together. So much was coming out. And she was like, you have such a high ability to heal people and you need to really figure this out. And, you're going to do major things. Now I'm like, okay, you bullshit because you just want me to come back here and pay some more money. And
Mm.
I'm not crying in front of nobody ever again. Still in my thug mode. I ain't rolling with this. And so I leave. And I was not nice to her at all because back then I was still very much operating in a hurt space and I was not the person that I am today. I wasn't. So I was rude. I didn't really thank her. I just left, went on about my business. Fast forward to 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I'm like, I'm full-fledged into my spiritual business now, right? Like I'm moving in energy. I'm doing all these things. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do Reiki. I feel called to move energy with my hands. I feel called to do that. I'm already, speaking into people, praying, I'm laying hands and touching, like, in an energetic way. I'm like, I want to receive actual training to make sure that I'm not missing an opportunity to more effectively do this. And so I'm asking around Nakaya Ellis, who is the doula, the midwife. Okay. She has become a great friend of mine. And so my business coach and friend, Corinne, was like, here is a contact that I know, see if she could train you because I know she's a master of Reiki. Or she was a Reiki 2 at that time. We thought she was a master. And so she was like, oh no, I'm going for my master, but here is my Reiki master. She's great. And I know that she accepts online and in-person clients. Who do you think it was?
I was going to ask you too. I was going
It
to ask
was
you, have you?
to wellness. It was her full circle moment. When I realized that, I sent her an email. I was like, first, I want to say, I'm sorry, but I'm back. When I tell you, when she texted me and she was like, I knew you were coming.
Mm.
So, yeah, my life is in alignment and I know that. And that's another way that I tell people, you can't tell me God ain't moving in real time because why would that have even happened? There's no point for her to have been the only person who has moved energy on me. So now I have a Reiki master that I trust. She's a very, very close ally. She's an elder to me. I wash her feet. When she comes home back to Richmond, she knows that when she touched down here, them feet getting washed because she's an elder to me. She made a way for me almost 10 years ago, and I didn't even know that. And so, that part of my journey, when I tell you my mind, I think I was blown for like 10 days off that one. I was blown. I mean, blown. But yeah, Key to Wellness, she's great. She's like the best Reiki master ever. She's so supportive. And she has a great community of Reiki practitioners across the country. Like they're great. Yeah. So yeah. And so my clients, back to your original question, because I'll be talking. My clients come back in here and every experience is individualized to them. But I have never had, I've had some people have some rough sessions because we bring up a lot. But I've never had anyone had a session that they regret. And a
I
lot of
believe
our
that.
clients are recurring. We keep them at the very least once a month, once a quarter. They come in and make sure they just get their dose of energetic alignment, and then they drop off what they need to drop off. We pray over it and we let it go.
I'm excited for my session with you.
I'm
So
excited for
when do you
your
normally
session with
do
me
it?
too.
Weekends?
I have a wide range of availability.
Okay.
I do a lot outside of my spiritual practitioner business. I'm seeing recurring clients. I have 12 clients on my roster right now that I see.
Come on.
They're great. I've scaled back a bit.
Yeah.
I take Reiki clients. I do some couples work. I do a lot of astrological work. But I'm also a majorette coach for Thomasville High School. And so so that's a big part of my life too. I get to see those beautiful kids. The dancers are fantastic, 3 times a week. And so that cuts into my practitioner time a little bit, but that also gives me the ability to mentor outside of my business as well. And so I love that part, but my availability is open. All of my calendars are current, and I'm accepting new Reiki clients all the time. So
yes. Well,
you can come get it.
Seriously, like I'm going first. So y'all gonna have to wait because I'm gonna actually book it before. I'm gonna book it before this even gets uploaded for Michael to edit.
We can work offline. You just tell me what your availability is, and
dope. Because then I'll just text you. Then we'll just do that. How long are the sessions?
So I offer a couple of different sessions. I have a general, like a crystal alignment session, which is 45 minutes. I have express Reiki and aura cleansing, which is a shorter. It's your Reiki part lasts about 20 minutes, but it's a 30-minute appointment. And then I have a deep release Reiki, which is an hour. That's where we're really pulling some things out.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I let my clients, I call it the cooking, where they have to sit with spirit for a second, where that part is not for me. And I take a step back. Because I can hear, see, and know. Sometimes I feel like if I'm too present, it's an invasion sometimes of privacy. And there are some things that I know and I understand and respect are not for me to experience for my client. It's for them and spirit to do together.
That's so beneficial. I didn't even think about that. However, some people may have that thought of, if you can see it and hear, like, I don't want you to like. So thank you for sharing that part. I didn't even think of that. And shout out to you for reducing your load, because the cheat code of owning your business is not to work like you work in corporate in your business. It is to play. It is to expand. It is to do what was put into you with others, however that is, whether you're a dope ass Reiki master, and the list goes on and on. Y'all heard it when I read the bio. But you being able to be with the kids as you are, thinking of little Cheeky, like that's what I think about when I am outside of my crystal clear purposes world, where I get to experience people the way that I've always wanted to, and also get to kind of show them this is your permission to do the same. That is the dopest part. Like,
yes.
And y'all know Black don't crack. So Cheeky looking over here, you don't have to tell me your age, but we look super young. Okay.
I tell people all the time because I'm proud of it, baby. I'm 36. Okay.
Okay. I thought you were like 20 something. Like, I'm telling you, like, we be taking care. And I do attribute that to me allowing myself to be more creative, because I've never considered having a business. Like, I didn't grow up saying like, I'm gonna have a business. And it was like, go to school, get the job. Life is gonna be awesome. And then it wasn't. I was like, what the F? So for me to be able to play creatively and like partner with people while we playing and they figuring out what their play is, and that's a part of coaching. Like, but I'm so excited.
Talking about when we were kids, I think honestly, if I wasn't going to be on Captain Planet, what I remember after that, and y'all don't judge me, I just knew I was going to be a drug dealer wife. I knew I was. I just knew I was going to do it, just knew it. And so I have been many people in my life. I have lived lots of different lifetimes, but they have all molded me and really helped me to be able to sit where I sit now and do what I do. And I'm still evolving and learning because growth
Mm.
is forever. Whatever isn't growing is dead.
Yes,
I
that
don't
part.
need to be gold plated. I don't need to be um, that right now. I just want to live. I just want to experience. I just want to grow. And so I tell people all the time, what I give is advice. You don't have to take it. You don't have to do as I say. You don't have to live like I live, but please do something that means something to you. Let it mean something to you. Um, I think a lot of times we get lost in appearances. And one of the reasons why it's so important to me to stay authentic to who I am is because I know that so many of us hide. And for so long, I couldn't be who I was because I was afraid to let people see it. And so, now when people like, gee, extra, you damn right. You damn right. I'm gonna be extra forever. If you think
Yeah.
that when I die, that my coffin is not gonna be glass and me standing up, y'all have got something confused. Think I won't have a statue of me in the whole funeral. Think I won't. I will because I have lived too much of my life being
Mm.
quiet, and so forevermore I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be heard. You don't have to listen to me. It's okay. You can turn it off. You can
Yes.
unfollow. You can unsubscribe. You can do all of those things, but that's not going to mute me.
Yeah.
I know that my voice is powerful, just like everybody else's, and so in order for us all to live in purpose, because that's like the biggest question that people ask me is, how do I know? When I'm moving in purpose, how do I know? You know when you're winning as yourself. That's how you know.
Yes. Yes.
When it's just you being you. When you feel like, how we all have those days where it's like, man, I had such a great day and I didn't even have to try.
Yes, that part. Yes.
Because you're in alignment, you're in purpose, you're in flow. Everything is working out organically because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And so I'm all about effort. But for me, trying is a funny concept because I just always want to make sure that what you're attempting at is what you really, really intentionally want to do.
Yeah.
Because we waste a lot of time um, doing things just for the sake of doing them, like a lot.
And to expand on that, what you put so beautifully, what are some things that you do effortlessly for you outside of your business, outside of coaching?
One of the things that I love about me um, and how I take care of me is I let myself feel. And for so long, I didn't do that. Or I gave myself a hard time for feeling, or I had to quickly try to associate whether my emotions were negative or positive, and those
Mm.
things. And so, one of the things that I do effortlessly now for myself is if I have a feeling, I find a space to feel it. I let myself feel that because how I've hurt myself in the past is by telling myself that my feelings, they can wait until later because they're
Mm.
not as important as everybody else's. And I just need to stay in the moment of service and all of those things. And then I accidentally got into this cycle. And you let me know if you have ever experienced this, where all of a sudden my validation came from how good I could serve people and not just how I was on my own. And then I'm like, well, damn, I done just reworked one trauma into another.
Yep.
And so
Yes.
now what I
Yes.
do is I ask myself, are you okay?
Mm.
And I didn't used to ask myself that. I used to feel guilty for taking off work. I used to feel guilty for not delivering. I was always so afraid of letting someone down, never realizing that I was letting myself down day after day after day. And so one of my favorite quotes, is love the people, but be of the people.
Mm.
And so I have to remember that in this lifetime, in this experience, I'm very much human. And I have to make sure that I'm still giving myself the same grace that I give everyone else. And so, yeah, grace and time, those are the things that I love the best about me, that I give myself effortlessly. And I laugh a lot, like I'm super goofy. So, like, I will figure out a way to throw a jig or a two-step into any
I know that's
situation
right.
to break up the energy.
I know that's right. And that shit is so real. And You asked me if I experienced it, and I actually experienced it through my mom. My mom was always giving, always, always, always. Her brothers, sisters, her mom, and she is of 7 kids that my grandmother had. She is the supporter, provider, blah, 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 like decades, decades, decades. And I remember watching her, and I had that in me too. And then I remember over time, I literally told her, I don't want to be like you. Like I was like, it's too much. Like you give and give, and now you're exhausted. Like she was taking care of my grandmother at one time where she was losing a lot of weight. My mom was, her hair was thinning, and like one of my mother's siblings passed. So there's 5 other siblings that my grandmother can go to. And I told my mom this. Like I sat her down. I was like, Mom, we love you. Grandma, she can't keep asking you to do so much because you're going to keep doing it. Let's say you die. You think she's just going to die? She's not going to reach out to her other 5 kids? And I don't know how soon after that she ended up saying I can't do this because she had blood pressure issues. Like it was just a lot. And I just saw my mom, saw the outcomes. I'm like, this is not going to end well. Like it's just not. And to this day, she still will give, and she's created boundaries. Like she's had conversation with her siblings, like, I don't give a shit. I'm not helping y'all. I'm not giving y'all money. Like I'm not. So I kind of had that in me. And I also like, I would give, and then I would be resentful and angry. And then asking, are you okay? Fuck no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
It
Like
sucks.
I keep doing. And I was like, but did somebody ask you to do? Did someone say, hey, you, Crystal, what I need you to do is this? No. Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this, Crystal? To appease.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help. I want you to like me. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm more selfish. Like I've always had it in me. It would just come in bursts, like just do. I remember one time my husband was out in law school, and he was just like partying or something, and he lost his debit card. I'm at the Red Door Spa. It used to be a Short Pump Mall. Getting my nails done, my toes, my fingers. He calls me and was like, can you wire me some money? And I was like, no, this is my day. Literally text him that. Didn't feel bad about it and was like, how dare him? He know I'm out here. And it was funny because he had told his boys that, and they would joke. Like if something happened, they'd be like, this is my day, dude. Like, so that was me. Like I will straight shooter, like you knew what it was. Don't
Mm-hmm.
ask me something else, or you gonna get this response. And so now I'm just I mesh the two, but I'm also being more intentional of not just like going for the juggler. Like, how dare you? It's fun. I will say I do like being selfish, and I know I am a giver.
I think my take on selfishness, because a lot of times I think that we improperly label things. Like selfish and self-centered to me are overused depictions and descriptions of things when a lot of times they're incorrect. Because who else are you supposed to be centered around?
Yeah.
You know, who else are you supposed to be serving first? Yeah. And so most people who will describe themselves as selfish don't even have the capacity to be selfish, because it's impossible to be a selfish giver. That's an oxymoron. You can't do that. Now, what you can do is be very intentional about your energy and give very intentionally. And I think, you know, hearing you express that about your mom and watching her and all those things, you know, I want to go ahead and give you some kudos ahead of time, because you're breaking a generational curse of that. You are taking more time to slow down and be, you know, more intentional about asking yourself, why am I doing this? You know, I don't have to burn out to save someone. That's not an equal trade-off. You know, spirit says you're supposed to be living in abundance. You don't have to sacrifice your soul to save the next man. That was already done. So we don't have to do that in real time. And so what I would encourage you to ask yourself, so this is a lot of people listening to this, hopefully they're in our age group, because you remember, who let these hoes in my room? Okay. So anytime I pick up somebody else's problem, I'll be like, whose hoes are these? whose holes are these? Because these aren't even mine. Somebody left these holes in my room. They're not even my responsibility. And so I would encourage you to ask yourself that as well. Who left these holes in my room? When you find out and you realize that you're doing stuff that doesn't belong to you, that no one even asked you to do. Because that is a large thing that I see with a lot of my clients is where resentment grows. Is they don't feel appreciated for the things that they're doing that no one required them to do. So,
nobody, baby.
You say something. I come from a whole line of people who need dog. I feel you, dog.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Look. So I promised Cheeky, because I want to be mindful of her time. And we literally have 2 minutes left. That was beautiful. Like, that was dope. Like, I wasn't even watching the clock. And then I was like, oh. So again, thank you so much. I'm texting you, but I'm also going to look at your website. But I do want to do this soon, because I'm ready. I'm excited, and I want to be able to feel whatever I'm supposed to feel and experience whatever I'm supposed to feel with you in real time in your dope ass room. So before we conclude, what do you want to say to end out our conversation?
I just want to remind everyone that they don't have to become this new person. Who they are in real time is valuable and beautiful, and you just have to explore yourself. It is never about becoming. It really is about returning, and it's about knowing you. It's about exploring you and getting deeper into yourself. And so if you have 15 minutes to scroll social media, you have 15 minutes to ask yourself, what am I feeling today? Take the time to build a better relationship with yourself. Take the time to build a better relationship with spirit. If you don't know how, there's resources. This isn't a sales pitch. This is a soul call. Make sure that you are nurturing who you are, because I promise you all, this is going to be a crazy year that we're walking into astrologically, systematically, collectively. It's just going to be a crazy year. And you have to have a strong footing in who you are so you can make sure you're not operating on who you are not.
Damn.
Just
I'm run it back.
Put it
You
in
want
your
to make
back
sure.
You want to make sure that you have a strong footing in who you are, so you're not operating in who you are not.
That's it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Cheeky.